Hello, mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about ratios, more specifically, how to compare ratio relationships using tables. To get us started, here we have three ratio relationships. So at Frosty's Ice Cream Shop, there's a special where 3 large sundaes cost $28. At Cool Cones Creamery, we have here a table that breaks down the number of large sundaes and the cost. So 2 large sundaes cost $17, 4 large sundaes cost $34, 6 large sundaes cost $51, and 8 large sundaes cost $68. Notice here that every time the large sundaes increase by 2, the cost is always increasing by 17. So here we have a table of equivalent ratios. And then we have Sweet Scoops Parlor, where we have a graph. And on our graph, it represents the number of large sundaes and the cost. So 1 large sundae is $8. 2 large sundaes is $16. 3 large sundaes is $24. 4 large sundaes is $32. And 5 large sundaes is $40. So which ice cream shop has the better deal? That is the question that we're going to answer using tables. So again, Frosty's Ice Cream Shop has a special where 3 large sundaes cost $28. So let's go ahead and make that a table. So we know that 3 large sundaes is $28. And if we got 3 more large sundaes, we would have 6. And then the cost would be $56. Every time we get 3 more large sundaes here, the cost is going to increase by 28. So we're going to go ahead and fill in a few of these. And again, we're maintaining an equivalent ratio because we're going up by 3 large sundaes and increasing by $28 each time. So here we have Cool Cones Creamery, and we already had a table, but let's just go ahead and add a little bit more to it. So we know that here, 2 large sundaes is $17, and they already started the equivalent ratios here. So we're increasing by 2 large sundaes each time we increase by $17. So we're going to go ahead and continue that. Because every time we get 2 more large sundaes, it's going to cost $17 more. Now we have Sweet Scoops Parlor. And remember that we had a graph, so we're going to take the information on this graph and put it into a table. So we know that 1 large sundae is $8. We know that 2 large sundaes is $16. 3 large sundaes is $24. 4 large sundaes is $32. And 5 large sundaes is $40. So now again, there is a pattern here. Every time we get 1 more large sundae, it's going to cost $8. So let's go ahead and continue. So we're going to add 1 more large sundae, and that's going to be $8 more. And then we're going to continue this table a little bit. So here we have our tables side by side. Remember that at Frosty's Ice Cream Shop, every time we got 3 more large sundaes, the cost would increase by $28. At Cool Cones Creamery, every time we get 2 large sundaes, the cost is going to increase by $17. And at Sweet Scoops Parlor, every time we get 1 large sundae, the cost is going to increase by $8. So if we take a look at these tables individually, they're all increasing by different numbers of large sundaes depending on the possible specials. However, if we take a closer look, notice that they all have 6 large sundaes and the cost for the 6 large sundaes. That's because 6 is the least common multiple of 3, 2, and 1. We have our Frosty's Ice Cream Shop increasing by 3 large sundaes each time. We have our Cool Cones Creamery increasing by 2 each time, and our Sweet Scoops Parlor increasing by 1 each time. And as they do, they're bound to get to the same number of large sundaes, and that is called our least common multiple. So they were bound to get to 6, and if we look at the tables, comparing it for the large sundaes where we have 6 makes it easier to see which one is a better deal. So at Frosty's Ice Cream Shop, 6 large sundaes is $56. At Cool Cones Creamery, 6 large sundaes is $51. And at Sweet Scoops Parlor, 6 large sundaes is $48. So that means that Sweet Scoops Parlor has the better deal, because if we're comparing getting 6 large sundaes in each one of these places, it is much cheaper at Sweet Scoops Parlor. On another note, if we take a look at these tables again, 6 isn't the only one that they have in common, because Frosty's Ice Cream Shop and Cool Cones Creamery also have 12 in common. And if we continued our table for Sweet Scoops Parlor, we would eventually get to 12. And so we could use any common multiple to compare the prices, but using the least common multiple is usually easier because we're working with smaller numbers. However, we would still get the answer using 12 large sundaes, because at Frosty's Ice Cream Shop, 12 large sundaes cost $112. At Cool Cones Creamery, 12 large sundaes cost $102. And at Sweet Scoops Parlor, 12 large sundaes cost $96. So we still get the same answer that Sweet Scoops Parlor is the better deal in this case.